Hello, everyone. This is Joe Obidiego wishing you the blessings of the Most High. Welcome to HON, Healing of the Nation channel, where we're devoted to digging for truth on the higher grounds of reason, so we may drink from the burning cup of love and wisdom. Before I go into today's topic, I would love to profess my deepest condolences to all the families that lost loved ones in the horrific attacks of South Africa. They say that it takes the living to close the eyes of the dead and the dead to open the eyes of the living. I hope that the unwarranted, undignified deaths of our brothers and sisters, not just in South Africa, but all around the world, will open our eyes and motivate us to change our ways and be better. In a nutshell, Nigeria is branded a failed state because despite its formidable human resources and the abundance of natural resources, yet it has failed to provide its citizens with the security and economic opportunities other modern nations afford their citizens. Of course, to understand why Nigeria is at dangerous crossroads today, a failed nation under turmoil and arrested development, will require that we refrain from our usual myopia, but instead look at our troubles through a broad lens, connect some determining causes to present a whole picture so we can look beyond the tree and see the forest. For this reason, I will now put the wagon ahead of the horse and start by discussing the events of South Africa, Fulani herdsmen, endemic greed and systemic corruption in politics, crime, lawlessness, and poverty, because all these factors are not the cause of our troubles. They are rather symptoms of our failure, a nation at the brink of disintegration. I think it's imperative that we muster the courage and wisdom necessary to go beyond just talking about the symptoms of our failure, but go deeper and address the root cause of our problems and actually do something about it so we can one day begin to harvest the fruits of the so many good things about our people and our country. In my humble but honest opinion, there are several causes of Nigeria's failure, but I will narrow them down into four broad categories: psychology, religion, education, and politics. Psychologically, I believe Nigerians are suffering from a long history of unresolved trauma, which has been passed down from generation to generation. Unfortunately, some of this trauma was self-inflicted by some of our own inhumane cultural practices, such as human sacrifice and witchcraft. Others were inflicted by external circumstances, such as slave trade and colonialism. Politically, Nigeria was duped and beguiled by our so-called colonial masters into adopting a system of government that is not completely compatible with some of our core beliefs and values. This is why democracy has not worked in Nigeria and will never work in Nigeria until we modify some of these core beliefs and value systems. Spiritually, Nigerians are devout followers of religions that are not indigenous to our land, and we do not completely understand some of the esoteric principles that underlie the doctrines of these foreign religions. So when we worship, it tends to be empty rituals that do not nourish our souls. And this leaves us spiritually ambivalent without strong inner moral convictions. Education-wise, Nigerians are very smart people, but we are miseducated and undereducated, and this poses a big problem. I will make videos to further expatiate on each and every one of these causes that I've mentioned, but now I will go further and speak a little bit more about trauma and the mindset that is failing Nigeria. Trauma has profoundly affected our being, our nervous system, our minds, and how we think. It has hardened the hearts and corrupted the souls of far too many Nigerians, leaders and ordinary citizens alike, leaving the nation in the poor state of moral decadence. The effects of trauma is all too visible in our behavior. We are narcissistic, we're filled with rage and prone to violence. We do not feel safe. A big portion of the country feels neglected and not listened to. There is a strong sense of economic lack, and there's a lack of trust for one another. You cannot build a safe, prosperous nation if a big portion of the population are not mentally healthy or trustworthy. So, the challenge facing Nigeria and Nigerians today is the need to heal our trauma so we can, with a new mind, develop a better understanding of ourselves. You see, a human being is one and the same with his or her environment. Our thoughts are reflected in our actions, and our actions create our environment. So the current circumstance in Nigeria today is created by the collective thinking process of Nigerians. So we have knowingly or unknowingly created the mess that we find ourselves in today. And it is understandable that given the unpleasant conditions that now exist, that some parts of the nation wants to break away from Nigeria, a republic that has neither protected them nor provided them with economic opportunities. However, we must not forget that a divorce does not automatically make one's life better, especially if one had not learned from the mistakes that caused the divorce. So, the message today is that we cannot keep wanting a better nation, be it Biafra, Oduduwa, or Ariwa, without also wanting to become better human beings, because this goes against the universal law of correspondence. Better human beings make better nations. The wisdom of our ancestors expressed that we do not want to wash our hands, yet we wish to dine at the king's table.